Hello and welcome to Todd Rolls Dice, where we're taking a look at the long-awaited, much-needed Deathwatch Index. It's all wrapped up in the Grotmas Calendar. We're on day 7, so they're saying, whether you've been naughty or nice, the Deathwatch are coming. I would counter that with saying GW have been naughty and now they're trying to be nice by giving people back their army rules. But each to their own, I guess. The main thing is it's here, it's free, it's available now. Go check it out. Link in the description below. How about we just jump into this one? The festive season is a time for coming together with friends and family. And what embodies that more than Space Marines from all the different chapters, putting aside their differences and teaming up to kick the rear parts of the nearest Xenos. The Black Spear Task Force returns, and they're bringing a full tournament legal index with freshingly recategorized kill teams. Freshingly recategorized? Don't you mean pulled out of the dustbin where you left them when you released the Agents of the... I'm going to stop, we're going to be positive, it's Christmas, come on. Let's get behind them, guys. It's finally here. I'm taking the mick, honestly. Yes, it was a bad move to get rid of Deathwatch, but it happened. They've listened and they've put steps in place to bring them back. That's all I'm going to say on it from now on. We're just going to be hopefully positive about the detachment and the index as we break it down. I am a Dark Angels fan. You all know this by now. But the thing that got me into Space Marines years ago, probably 20 years ago, was a White Dwarf article about Deathwatch kill teams when they released, I think they were metal at the time. They released metal special bolt guns and the shoulder pauldrons with the Deathwatch engravings on. And I looked at them and I just thought, yes. Never owned any. There might have even been models, I can't remember. I never owned any. And I've always loved the idea of a Deathwatch army. And then I saw the Corvus Blackstar. And I fell in love with that straight away. I need Corvus Blackstar in my life. A couple of years later, we jumped to Space Marine 2 and that opening mission. I want a game of that. I want a game of Deathwatch. I want Saber, not Space Marine 3, but I want Space Marine Deathwatch, where you can be Titus if you really want, but you don't have to be. You can be any other, because they've probably got to be Primaris. You can be any other character, brand new, with different brothers, brothers from different chapters, all just, yeah, I would love that. That would be like my dream 40k game. Space Marine 2 is so close. But if you take that and made it Deathwatch, then yeah. So I'm invested in this. I've never had a Deathwatch army, but I want to have a Deathwatch army. And I'm not even bothered about 10th at the moment. And I still want a Deathwatch army. So yeah, this is how excited I am. And honestly, it's great to share this stuff with you guys, because you guys understand. Let's see what we get. And again, 5 Corvus Blackstars. It's not exactly tournament legal, but it looks cool. Such a great shot. This is an Agents of the Imperium shot, because you've got the other bits. Hopefully Titus gets rules. He's got a brand new model. It's out today on his own for the first time. We'll be talking about that later. I doubt it, because the time frame doesn't add up, but it'd be so cool if we could run Titus in Deathwatch. Anyway, stop getting distracted. From their hidden bases in orbiting watch fortresses, the Deathwatch dispatch carefully selected operatives to hunt down and exterminate alien presences wherever they may be found. Each of these post-human warriors is a veteran of countless battles, tithed by their original chapter to undertake the long vigil and guard against alien incursion. The Black Spear Task Force has been a popular index, and the Advent detachments have given us a perfect opportunity to bring it back. And the Advent detachments gave us the perfect opportunity to bring it back, updated for the new edition. Yes, we're not touching on that anymore, I've already said. The Mission Tactics Detachment rule allows Deathwatch players to adapt to almost any foe, be they enemy hordes, giants of war, or high priority target. Stratagems like the site-to-site teleportation return, making the Deathwatch one of the most mobile Space Marine forces, able to react and reposition to enemy movements. Specialist ammunition is now more accessible to a wider variety of units, and players can explore the new units presented here, as well has all the units they can access from Codex Space Marine. Now that is a Deathwatch army. The most substantial changes are to the revamped kill teams. Fortis, Indomitor and Spectrus teams have been significantly reworked, joined by the new Talonstrike kill team, so they've got rid of one of them. Was there a Primus kill team? They've been reorganized to focus on the various armor types. Fortis focus on Tacticus variants, seamlessly merging a variety of close support roles and deadly firepower. Nice. Indomitor focuses on the heavier Gravis variants, while Spectrus focuses on Phobos variants, specializing in battlefield control and enemy destabilization. Finally, Talonstrike focuses on jump pack variants, crushing their prey in sudden assaults. I like how all this sounds so far. Tomorrow, we'll return with a 1-2 punch of Imperial might. The Adeptus Custodes and the Officio Assassinorum, who definitely don't stop at leaving coal in your stocking. I didn't realise Assassinorum would get a detachment. Would that not fall under Agents of the Imperium or Inquisition or... But this is our first 1-2 punch. Custodes, yes, they need something, I think. But the Officio Assassinorum, I have no idea how that's going to play, so that'll be interesting to see. We'll cover both of those tomorrow. Let's just break into the Deathwatch Index, shall we? Oh, we 26 pages. A lot of it is index cards and weapon detachments. Okay. Sorry, I'm skipping this. So 1 page is rather cool artwork. I wonder if they won't release these as cards, but I wonder if they'll release these as cards. So this isn't a detachment, this is just a true index. Hopefully it's going to stick around for the rest of 10th at the very least. Yeah, okay. Enhance. Okay, so what have we actually got? Kill teams. Each time an attack targets a kill team unit from your army that contains models from different toughness characteristics, until the attacking unit has finished making its attacks, use the toughness characteristic of the majority of the models in that unit when determining what result is required for that attack to successfully wound. If 2 or more toughness characteristics are tied for majority, use the highest toughness characteristic. I like it. And for the purposes of determining which models can embark in a transport model, kill team models follow the normal restrictions listed on the transport model. So this is where it's going to get messy, because the Deathwatch veterans are not Tacticus models unless they've changed the keywords. Their sizing isn't Tacticus. So they're not Primaris, basically. So I wonder how all of that is going to flow. But as an army rule, it's not flashy. It sounds more like common sense than an army rule, but they still get Oath of Moment, don't they? So the detachment is Black Spear Task Force. If your army faction is Adeptus Astartes, which it would be, you can use this detachment rule. Restrictions. Your army can include Adeptus Astartes Deathwatch units, but may not include any Adeptus Astartes units drawn from any other chapter. Makes sense. With the exception of Kill Team Cassius, which has obviously made a return. Oh, it's Sea Legends, Agents of the Imperium, so it hasn't made a return. Your army cannot include any Agents of the Imperium Deathwatch units. Right. I don't think you would. Your army cannot include any of the following units: Assault Squad with jump packs, Attack Bike Squad, Devastator Squad, Land Speeder Storm, Relic Terminator Squad, Scout Bike Squad, Scout Sniper Squad, Tactical Squad, Terminator Assault Squad, Terminator Squad. Yeah, okay. Mission Tactics. At the start of your command phase, you can select one of the mission tactics listed below. Until the start of your next command phase, that mission tactic is active and its effects apply to all units in your army with this ability. Each mission tactic can only be selected once per battle, so it's a variant of Gladius. You only have 3, so there's going to be 2 turns where you don't have anything. For raw tactics, When this mission tactic is active, weapons equipped by Adeptus Astartes units in your army have sustained hits 1 ability. Okay. Malleus Tactics. When this mission tactic is active, weapons equipped by Adeptus Astartes units in your army have the lethal hits ability. That's quite nice. And Purgatus Tactics. When this mission tactic is active, each time an Adeptus Astartes unit from your army makes an attack, if a critical hit is scored, the attack has the precision ability. So it's not as good as Gladius, but you can still use other detachments, right? I think surely you can still use Oath of Moment, and you can still use other Space Marine detachments with these. It's because this is an index. That's what's throwing me. But you can use the index. Yeah, no, surely. Stratagems. So we have 6. One of them is Armour of Contempt. I'm not going to go over Armour of Contempt. They're all 1 CP, and we have 2 strategic ploys and 3 weapon stratagems, wargear stratagem. Adaptive tactics. When your command phase, up to 2 kill team units from your army or 1 other Adeptus Astartes unit from your army. Effect. For each unit targeted, select Furore Tactics, Malleus Tactics, or Purgatus Tactics. Until the start of your next command phase, that mission tactic is active for that unit instead of any mission tactic that is active in your army. So you can pop a CP and then 2 of your kill teams, because realistically you're going to do it on kill teams to get the most out of this. Maybe turn 1, you pop that on 2 of them, you take a few pot shots, do whatever you need to do. Yeah, okay, very Gladius, but I like it. Hellfire rounds. When your shooting phase, target 1 kill team unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot this phase. Effect. Until the end of the phase, ranged weapons, excluding devastating wounds weapons. Equipped by models. Actually, it's very strong. Equipped by models in your unit have the anti-infantry 2-up and anti-monster 5-up abilities. Restrictions. You cannot select any units that have already been targeted with either the Kraken rounds or Dragonfire stratagems this phase. I'm happy with all of that. So it's any weapons that haven't shot or used another wargear stratagem, and as long as they don't have dev wounds, 2-up anti-infantry and 5-up anti-monster is quite nice just to be able to pop every turn on a unit if you need it. That's pretty good. Kraken rounds, I'm expecting these to be fairly similar. When your shooting phase, target 1 kill team from your army that has not been selected to shoot this phase. Effect. Until the end of the phase, improve the AP, armor penetration characteristic of ranged weapons, equipped by models in your unit by 1, and improve the range characteristic of those weapons by 6 inches. So it's +1 AP, plus 6 inch range. Okay. Restrictions, you can't target them in a unit that's used Dragonfire or Hellfire rounds this phase. Yeah, okay. That doesn't seem as good as the previous one. And Dragonfire rounds. When your shooting phase, target 1 kill team unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot this phase. Effect. Until the end of the phase, ranged weapons equipped by models in your unit have the assault and ignores cover abilities. And again, you cannot select a unit that has been targeted with Kraken rounds or Hellfire rounds this phase. I like those. I'm a fan of Assault. I like Assault, and Assault plus ignores cover, I can see it. I still don't get why ignores cover seems to be such a big thing, but I quite like that. I don't mind Kraken rounds. Quite like Dragonfire rounds. Early turn, get them up the board. Kraken rounds. Situational, but I think Hellfire rounds are pretty strong, especially for 1 CP. And finally, site-to-site teleportation. When end of your opponent's fight phase, target up to 2 kill team units from your army or 1 other Adeptus Astartes infantry unit from your army, if those units are not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. Effect. Remove those units from the battlefield and place them into strategic reserves. Until the end of your next movement phase, models in those units that do not have the Deep Strike ability now have the Deep Strike ability. So it is just, they keep saying Adeptus Astartes infantry, I suppose they have to, just to tie everything up in a nice, neat, rules-writing bow. But it's going to be 2 kill team units, and just move them around, basically put them into strategic reserves and Deep Strike them when needed. I like that. It's 1 CP, It's a strategic, so it's not like you can use a captain to churn it out for free every turn. But no, that's nice. I think they're similar, or maybe even better, that certain units have. I know scouts, Space Marine scouts can do that. It's just that one unit, but their unit ability is just bamf out. Yeah, I don't mind this. I like that you've got rounds back. I feel like, yeah, before we get into the data cards, Deathwatch players, people who play Deathwatch in 9th and previous, how do you guys feel about this? Because outside of the fact that you can now just have a Deathwatch army, which arguably you could just do under Gladius or one of the others, and you just paint them all up as Deathwatch. And you say your Watchmaster is a captain, stuff like that. I'm not seeing it. is the best way to put it. Enhancements. Thief of Secrets, Adeptus Astartes model only, improve the strength, damage and armor penetration characteristics of the bearer's melee weapons by 1. At the end of the fight phase, if one or more enemy models were destroyed as a result of melee attack made by the bearer's unit this phase, until the end of the battle, improve the strength, damage and AP characteristics of the bearer's melee weapons by 2 instead. I like that it's enemy models, not enemy units. So it's +1 to strength, damage and AP. Kill something, for the rest of the battle it's +2 instead. I don't mind that. The Osseous Key, Watchmaster or Tech Marine model only, at the start of your opponent's shooting phase, select one enemy vehicle, excluding Titanic units, within 12 inches of and visible to the bearer. That unit must take a leadership test. If that test is passed until the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll. If the test is failed, that unit is not eligible to shoot this phase. Wow. So that's a plus either way. That's what the Watchmaster has on his arm, isn't it? That weird little hacking device. I recognise some of these names. In fact, I recognise all these names. That's quite nice, because there are a lot of tanks and things in 10th, so it's like, screw your tank. The Beacon Angelis, Adeptus Astartes models only. Models in the bearer's unit have the deep strike ability. In addition, you can target the bearer's unit with a rapid ingress stratagem for 0 CP. Yeah, nice. And finally, the Tome of Ectoclades, Watchmaster or Captain model only. Once per battle, after you've selected your Oath of Moment target, so you do get Oath of Moment, the bearer can use this enhancement. If it does, select a second enemy unit to be the Oath of Moment target. This means that each time a model with the Oath of Moment ability makes an attack that targets either of your Oath of Moment targets, you can reroll the hit roll. Didn't they have that in their original 10th index? Because that caused a lot of problems. Again, I like it. It's just an extra way of boosting Oath of Moment. They obviously get Oath of Moment. Yeah, this is making sense to me now. They just look so cool. Okay, so datasheets. Watchmaster is 4 up invul, 2 up save, everything else is as you'd expect. He's armed with the Vigil Spear, which is 2 attacks, hits on 2s, 2+, strength 4, -1 AP, 2 damage. And in melee, it's a lance weapon who's 6 attacks, hits on 2s, 6 strength, -2 AP, D3 damage. Mission tactics. Oath of Moment for his faction stuff. He is the leader. Strategic knowledge. When this model is leading a unit, that unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced or fell back. That's quite nice. And Watchmaster, once per battle round, one unit from your army with this ability can use it when its unit is targeted with a stratagem. If it does, reduce the CP cost of that use of that stratagem by 1 CP. So all of these stratagems would go down to 0 on him and his unit. That's pretty nice. He is Grenades, Imperium Captain, Watchmaster, and he can take the Osseous Key or the Tome. The Tome probably. I mean, you can take up to 3 of these. Yeah, seems pretty nice. And he can be attached to Deathwatch Veterans or a Fortis kill team. Watch Captain Artemis, I don't know if... I think his model's still around, isn't it? He is 6 move, toughness 4, save 3, 4 wounds, 6 lead, 1 OC, 4 up invul, as expected for a captain. Ranged weapon, he has the Hellfire Extremis, which is anti-infantry 4, dev wounds, ignores cover and torrent. 12-inch range, D6 attacks, automatically hits because it's a flamer. Strength 4, -1 AP, 1 damage per hit. And Mastercrafted Power Weapon is melee, 6 attacks, hits on 2s, strength 5, -2 AP, damage 2. So, solid. His abilities are Feel No Pain, 6 up, and Leader. Oh, I was just checking to see if the Watchmaster had anything, but he didn't. Faction is the same, and abilities, Tactical Insight. When this model is leading a unit, weapons equipped by models in that unit have the lethal hits ability. That's the Lieutenant thing, isn't it? And Unstoppable Champion. The first time this model is destroyed, roll 1d6 at the end of the phase. On a 2-up, set the model back up on the battlefield as close as possible to where it was destroyed and not in engagement range of any enemy units with 1 wound remaining. It's nice. I mean, it's a free potential. On a 2-up, it's going to happen more often than not, and it's just a nice and easy return. It's at the end of the phase. So if he's killed in the shooting phase, he could potentially be charged and wiped out again. But if he's killed in the fight phase, there's a big chance if that goes off that he just comes back and you've got him for another turn. I like his stats, and you've got to be getting him in close. And the 6-up Feel No Pain is going to keep him alive a little bit as well, but that's quite nice. And he can be attached to Deathwatch Veterans or the Fortis kill team. So the Deathwatch Veterans, 6-inch move, toughness 4, 3-up save, 2 wounds, 6-up leadership, and 2 OC, so standard Space Marine there. We'll come to weapons. Abilities, Mission Tactics, and Oath of Moment. Death to the Alien. Each time a model in this unit makes an attack, reroll a hit roll of 1. So there's no point in having Oath of Moment with these guys. If the target of the attack does not have the Imperium or Chaos keywords, you can reroll the hit roll instead. That's quite strong against aliens, which makes sense. But then a flat out reroll hit rolls of 1 is nice on everything that you're shooting at. It doesn't have to be your Oath of Moment target. So you could just have these guys running interference basically. Static Shield gives them that 1 model of 4-up invul, which is nice. I have a feeling that you can build these as either a very shooty unit or a very fighty unit. They are battle line, so keywords infantry, battle line, grenades, Imperium, kill team, and Deathwatch veterans. So what can we actually have? Unit composition, 1 watch sergeant and 4 to 9 Deathwatch veterans, so you can have a unit of 5 or a unit of 10. Every model is equipped as standard with a bolt gun and power weapon, which is quite nice. And if a character from your army with a leader ability can be attached to a Stern Guard veteran unit, it can also be attached to this unit. So they're basically the veterans of which their name applies. War gear is where we're going to get interesting. So this looks very much to me like you can build them as a mix, you can build them as a shooter unit, or you can build them as a melee unit. So let's run through this. So for every 5 models in the unit, up to 2 models can have their bolt gun and power weapon replaced with one of the following. Bolt gun, Starty shield and a close combat weapon for the shooting option and a 4-up invul. Or they lose shooting entirely and they have a power weapon and a Starty shield, but again 4-up invul, but it's much more melee focused. I was just checking if the 4-up invul was specifically in range or melee, but it doesn't say, which is good. It is just a 4-up invul. Really nice. Squad of 10, whichever way you're leaning in, shooting or melee, you would absolutely take 4 of those. For every 5 models in this unit, up to 2 models can have their bolt gun and power weapon replaced with a Deathwatch Thunderhammer. So for a melee option, we're looking at, let's say, a 5 model unit. You'd have 2 power weapon with Static shields, you'd have 2 with Thunderhammers, and then you'd have your Watch Sergeant. I mean, that's gross. It's really good, but that's gross. For every 5 models in the unit, 1 model can have its bolt gun and power weapon replaced with a Stalker bolt pattern and 1 close combat weapon. That's more shooty. Stalker pattern bolt gun, heavy precision, 1 attack, hits on 3s, strength 4, -1 to damage. I think you could just skip that. Unless you wanted a bit of precision, I think you could just skip that. Every 5 models in the unit, up to 2 models can each have their bolt guns and power weapons replaced with 1 Deathwatch shotgun and 1 close range weapon. Now this is a sticky one, I think. Because the bolt gun, you're losing a power weapon, which is nice in melee, but if you're not really wanting to chuck them into melee, you're losing 1 strength, -2 AP, but no damage. So they wouldn't slap as hard in melee, but I think the shotgun is better than the bolt gun as standard. So the bolt gun is 24-inch range, 2 attacks, hits on 3s, strength 4, no AP, 1 damage. But the Deathwatch shotgun has assault, so you can advance with it and still shoot. 24-inch, so it's the same. 2 attacks, it's the same. Hits on 3s, it's the same. Strength 4, it's the same. No AP, that's the same, but 2 damage. So it's 1 damage better, but no... Actually, there is no deficit. So I think you run these guys with shotguns if you're going shooting, because the damage output is better at no restriction. You'd only take 2 shotguns, but still. But then we've got, for every 5 models in the unit, 1 model can be equipped with a frag cannon and close combat weapon instead of the bolt gun and power weapon, which is nice. And again, it says for every 5 models in the unit, 1 model can have its bolt gun and power weapon replaced with 1 Infernus heavy bolter and a close combat weapon. So that reads to me, you can take 2 shotguns, you can take 1 frag cannon, 1 heavy bolter for your shooting side, because it doesn't say you can replace it with 1 frag cannon or 1 heavy bolter. Yeah, so I think this is a hell of a unit. Whichever way you go, this is a hell of a unit. Where are we? Heavy bolter. So the heavy bolter and the Infernus. So the Infernus heavy bolter is the heavy bolter side. Heavy, sustained 1. 36-inch, 3 attacks, hits on 4s. So if they stay stationary, it would hit on 3s. That's fine. Strength 5, -1 AP, 2 damage. Not bad. And it is sustained 1, so you could be popping extra hits. And the flamer, heavy flamer, sorry, if anything wants to get close, 12-inch range, it's D6 attacks, it always hits, strength 5, -1 AP, 1 damage. Pretty nice. And the frag cannon is blast, heavy, rapid fire D3, 18-inch range, D3 shots, hits on 4s, but 3s if you stay still. Strength 7, -1 AP, 2 damage. So the strength isn't brilliant, but it's okay. And it is blast. I don't know which I prefer there. I have a feeling that Deathwatch are going to struggle for anti-tank in this, like the data sheets that we have. I mean, none of this is bad. The army rules might be a bit suspect, but as a unit, Deathwatch veterans, pretty nice. And then finally the sergeant can... Oh no, there's another melee option. Bolt gun and power weapon can be replaced with 1 black shield blades, which is twin-linked, melee, 4 attacks, hits on 3, strength 5, -2 AP, 1 damage. If you want a dude looking cool, dual-wielding swords, because everybody does, there you go. You see, I would do that, because I'm an idiot, but I think your best bet is, you're only gaining 1 extra attack over a power weapon. I think your best bet is 2 power weapons and Astartes shields, 2 thunder hammers, and then whatever your watch sergeant has. Because the thunder hammer is dev wounds, 3 attacks, okay, but it hits on 4s, strength 10, -2, 3 damage. It slaps. And we'll touch on the Xenophage blade because we're gonna get there next. That's dev wounds, 4 attacks, hits on 3s, strength 5, -2, 1 damage. It is the same as a power sword with an extra attack and dev wounds. And the sergeant can take that, swap it out for his power weapon for a Xenophage blade, and you can swap out his bolt gun for a combi weapon. Which you probably would, because the bolt gun... Oh, would you? The combi weapon is anti-infantry 4 up, dev wounds and rapid fire 1. 24-inch range, same as a bolt gun. It's only 1 attack, and it hits on 4s. Strength 4, yes, there's -1 AP, 1 damage. The problem with combi weapons in 10th is they've taken away everything that was cool about combi weapons and made them utter shit. Combi weapons shouldn't be hitting on less, and they shouldn't just be a blanket anti-infantry, dev wounds, rapid fire. They should have the rapid fire for the bolt gun, and then the other bits should be whichever type of weapon you want, I just don't like combi weapons in this. Normally I'd say take a combi weapon, but don't. Even for anti-infantry 4-up and dev wounds and rapid fire 1, it's only on one gun. But then having said that, depending on how you've built them... No, because they're bolt guns, aren't they? Yeah, depending on how you've built them, is he really the only one that can take a combi? Yeah, he is. That kind of sucks. I don't know if it makes a difference, because even with the bolted on extra attack at max range and hitting on one better, are you really going to do a lot of damage with a bolt gun or a combi weapon with this unit when it's just one guy? Yeah, build the Watchmaster however you want. I would always say take the Xenophage blade because I think it looks beautiful, but yeah, build him how you want. That's all I've got for you. But overall I like this. I think you can do some really nasty shooting stuff, still with 2 models with a 4-up invul and a 5-man squad, and again, melee, underhammers, shields, power weapon, Xenophage blade, you're going to do damage. And that 4-up invul is going to give them quite a nice amount of protection. And if you want to run 10 of these guys, run 10 of these guys, just go at it. Actually, that's what I would do. That's where the Black Shield Blades would come in, because you have that extra guy, don't you? So you would have four Thunderhammers, 4 shields, 1 Black Shield with the dual blades, twin-linked, and then the Sergeant. Yeah, there you go. Job done. That's your melee unit. Yes, yes, yes. I love these. I love the models as well. I always have. I've got a box of them to build. These are really nice. Deathwatch Terminator squad now. 5-inch move, 5 toughness, 2-up save, 3 wounds, 6-up leadership, 1 OC, and a 4-up invul. Oh, let's run through the abilities first. They have Deep Strike, Mission Tactics, and Oath of Moment. Terminatus Assault. You can reroll charge rolls made for this unit. Oh! Each time this unit ends a charge move, each enemy unit within engagement range of this unit must make a battle shock test. If that enemy unit does not have the Imperium or Chaos keywords, subtract 1 from the test. Okay, so if it's Xenos, subtract 1 from the test. If it's Imperium or Chaos, you just take a battle shock. Terminators, being able to reroll a charge, okay, and Teleport Homer at the start of the battle, you can set up 1 Teleport Homer token for this unit anywhere on the battlefield that is not within your opponent's deployment zone. If you do once per battle, you can target this unit with Rapid Ingress Stratagem for 0 CP. When resolving that stratagem, you must set this unit up within 3 inches of that token, and not within 9 inches horizontally, 1 or more enemy units. This token is then removed. That's the same, bog standard, but all the Terminators have Teleport Homer, that's quite nice. If a character in your army with a leader ability can be attached to a Terminator squad, it can be attached to this unit instead. As standard, they're equipped with Power Fist and Stormbolter, and you can run, again, it's the 1 Sergeant with 4 Terminators or 9 Terminators. So squads of 5 or squads of 10. What have we got then? War Gear. We'll go War Gear, then we'll have a little look at what they actually do. So up to 3 Deathwatch Terminators can have their Stormbolter replaced with one of the following: Assault Cannon, Heavy Flamer, Plasma Cannon, or the Cyclone Missile Launcher and Stormbolter. This model's Stormbolter cannot be replaced. Okay, so it's not so many per, it's just up to 3. So if you have a unit of 5, 2 units of 5, you can have 6. If you have a unit of 10, you can have 3. Is that what's happening here? It's not even a question. You take the Cyclone Missile Launcher every time. Dev Wounds is nice on the Assault Cannon. The Heavy Flamer is okay. The Plasma Cannons are just crap based on the strength. D3 shots isn't terrible, but no, you always take Cyclone Missile Launcher and you probably always pop in Crack. Frag is nice with Blast, but it's strength 4. Crack is strength 9. It's the highest strength that you've got access to here. Minus 2 AP, it's D6 damage. It's juicy. It's great, and yep, everybody should be doing the Crack. Any number of models can have their Power Fist and Stormbolter replaced with one of the following: Stormbolter and a Power Weapon, Stormbolter and a Chain Fist, Thunder Hammer and a Storm Shield, or Twin Lightning Claws. So where are we going to get Lightning Claws from? Because the new Terminator models don't come with Lightning Claws, and I'm not aware that the Deathwatch Terminators actually have a box. Do what you want on that side, really. It depends, again, if you're going melee or shooty. I don't think you can ever go wrong with Thunderhammers. It takes away your melee capability, your ranged capability, but I don't think you can ever go wrong with a Thunderhammer and a Storm Shield. Storm Shield gives you an extra wound. So melee weapon wise, what do we got? Power Fist is always nice. 3 attacks, hits on 3, strength 8, -2 damage. The Chain Fist, the only difference is anti-vehicle 3 up, but you wound, but you're hitting on 4s instead of 3s. Power weapon, I would just stay away from. Thunderhammer is dev wounds. 3 attacks, hitting on 4s, strength 8, -2 damage. Stick with the Power Fist. Unless you want to give them all 4 wounds with a Storm Shield. And then the Lightning Claws, 5 attacks, hitting on 3s, strength 5, -2, 1 damage. So they're slightly upscaled power weapon, but you lose your shooting. Stick with the Power Fist, because then you can shoot, and unless you're going up against vehicles, and the Chain Fist is fun. Yeah, they're not as good in melee, which is a shame. I mean, still build them how you want. It's what you think is fun. That's how I would play it. But I would definitely stick with Power Fist. I like a Terminator with a Power Fist. There's something just iconic about it. I don't know. They don't seem that inspiring. But then the new Terminator models are gorgeous. I think the thing that you do with these is you take 3 special weapons and you just have them as interference. And you can teleport them in, which is always nice. The beautiful, beautiful Corvus Blackstar. I bet it's rubbish. So again, we'll run over abilities and stuff, and then we'll look at weapons and see what we can take. So Deadly Demise D6, Hover and Stealth. Nice. I think in the lore it is a stealth ship, isn't it? So having stealth is very nice. Faction is the same, Mission Tactics, Oath of Moment, and Blackstar Cluster Launcher. Each time this model ends a normal move, you can select one enemy unit it moved over during the move and roll 6d6. On each 5 up, that unit suffers a mortal wound. That's just a nice, annoying rule. I love it. War gear options. So this is probably an either or specs array. Range weapons equipped by the bearer have ignores cover, or the Infernum Halo launcher, the bearer has the smoke keyword. It's vehicle, aircraft, fly, Imperium transport, Corvus Blackstar. So you could throw smoke onto that as well. Don't know which I'd do. Not sure. It is equipped with 2 Blackstar rocket launchers, twin assault cannons, and armoured hull, and this model has a transport capacity of 12 Adeptus Astartes infantry or kill team models. Jump Pack, Gravis or Terminator models take up space for 2 models, and Centurion models take up the space of 3 models. So 12, which is basically 2 kill teams, Tacticus kill teams, with a special character, or Jump Pack, Gravis, Terminator, it would just be a squad of 5 with a special character. So it's transport enough. Models' twin assault cannons can be replaced with 1 twin las cannon, so you would go from devastating wounds, twin linked on the assault cannon, 24 inch, 6 attacks, hits on 3s, strength 6, no AP, damage 1, to twin linked las cannon, 48 inch range, double the range, only 1 attack, it still hits on 3s, strength 12, -3 AP, and d6 +1 damage. I would argue that the Deathwatch stuff is struggling for anti-tank from what we've seen. I'd probably slap the las cannons on, just because las cannons are cool as well. It has 2 Blackstar rocket launchers that can be replaced with 2 Stormstrike missile launchers. So the Blackstar is blast, 30-inch range, d6 +1, hits on 3 up, strength 5, no AP, damage 1. Can be swapped out for the Stormstrike, 48-inch range, so an extra 18-inch range, 1 attack, hits on 3, strength 10, -2, damage 3. You are losing a lot of shots and blast, extra range. I mean, depends how many Corvus you take. You'd probably take that on one of them. It's not as good as the las cannon, and the las cannon just has that built-in twin linked. Don't forget that you've got Oath of Moment as well, so if you're hitting your Oath of Moment target, you can reroll 1s, whatever. I would probably lean more towards the Blackstar, personally, but don't ask me for tactical advice. It is equipped with a Hurricane Bolter, so Hurricane Bolter is rapid fire 6, twin linked, 24 inch, 6 attacks, hits on 3s, strength 4, no AP, damage 1. Actually, that sort of fills the role of the a Blackstar rocket launcher, doesn't it? You'd only ever be capping out at an extra shot. I don't know. I mean, whichever rocket launcher you want to take, which Stormstrike or Blackstar, it's up to you. Maybe the Stormstrike is better, knowing that you have to take, or you have access to the Hurricane Bolter regardless. And then it's either the Auspex Array or the Halo Launcher. I'd probably go Halo Launcher, but Ignores Cover could be nice with a lot of firepower. Again, I don't think there's a right choice there. I think Smoke keeps it alive. I think Ignores Cover makes it a bit more deadly. And the little skull there, when it's on its last 5 wounds, you subtract 1 to the hit roll. So it becomes 4 to hit, but then it's severely damaged, so... yeah, I like it. The thing with the Blackstar is it all depends on how it's costed. I think it's fun. I think it's a nice little weapons platform. I don't think the weapons are incredible. Being able to take a twin-link las cannon is nice. Some of the missile launchers are nice, and it's got a little bit of chaff shooting as well. And it's a transport, let's not forget. Overall, I really like it, but if it's crazily priced, if it's 270, 280 points, you're going to struggle. I just think it looks cool. So I'm going to take them because it looks cool. And now we're on to the mixed kill teams. We have Talonstrike kill team. This is your jump packs, your kill team sergeant with jump pack, and your kill team intercessors with jump pack. 12-inch range, toughness 4, 3 up save, 2 wounds, 6 up leadership, 1 OC, or, and this depends on how the unit is compiled, you can take heavy intercessors with jump packs, 10-inch move, but they are toughness 6, with an extra wound at 3 wounds. Everything else is the same. Slightly slower, I mean even moving 10 inches isn't bad. Toughness 6 models, chunky. Oh, this is the interceptors, isn't it? So, where are we? Deep Strike, always a nice ability. Mission Tactics and Oath of Moment, and their Doctrine. Each time this unit is set up on the battlefield until the end of the turn, each time this unit is set... Ooh. So you could pair those with site-to-site teleportation, because they already have the Deep Strike ability. Oh, okay, that's dirty. That's incredibly dirty. I love it. Yeah, so each time they're set up until the end of the turn, improve AP of weapons equipped on the models by 1, and melee weapons of the Lance ability. Quite nice. And a unit composition, 10 models maximum. You will always have 1 sergeant. You will have 2 to 9 kill team intercessors, or 0 to 5 heavy intercessors with jump packs. The sergeant is equipped with a heavy bolt pistol and a chainsword. Every kill team intercessor with jump pack is equipped with heavy bolt pistol and chainsword, and the heavy intercessors with jump packs are equipped with the assault bolters and close combat weapon. So you can switch out on the sergeant. He can switch out his heavy bolt pistol for a hand flamer or a plasma pistol, and he can switch out his chainsword for a power fist or a power weapon. I'm probably going to take a plasma pistol power fist. And for every 5 models in this unit, 1 model can replace its heavy bolt pistol for a plasma pistol, and then any number of models can have their assault bolters replaced with the plasma exterminators, which is the... yeah. Okay, that's an incredibly strong unit. An attached unit, if a character unit in your army with a leader ability can be attached to assault intercessors with jump pack unit, it can be attached to this unit instead. Their infantry, fly, jump pack, grenades, Imperium kill team, Talonstrike kill team. So your stratagems will work on 2 of these units, because they're a kill team unit. I can't believe that you could take a sergeant, 4 normal intercessors, and 5 heavy intercessors. I mean, that's ridiculous because the heavy intercessors come in boxes of 3. But you could take 5 of them and then just drop them in and say, hey guys, everything's gonna die. What would you take? It's standard. I would always opt for a power fist, and the Astartes chainswords aren't bad, in all honesty. I would always opt for a power fist, just for the extra damage and strength, even if it is on just the sergeant. The question here is, how many heavy intercessors are you taking, and do you want bolters or plasma? So bolters, these are both twin-linked. Bolters are assault pistol, sustained hits 2, they're both 18-inch range. You get 3 attacks, hitting on 3, strength 5, -1, 2 damage. Plasma exterminators, your standard profile is strength 7, -2 AP, 2 damage. and your supercharge gives it hazardous, but it's 2 attacks, hit on 3s, strength 8, -3, 3 damage. So it's got a little bit more kick, but it can also kill you. And they have assault, pistol, twin linked across all of them. But the only real difference is the extra strength of the plasma, and you can overcharge, which means they gain hazardous, or sustained hits 2 on the bolters. I think you take bolters. I like the plasma, don't get me wrong, but I think you take bolters. Sustained 2 is nice, you can use them in close combat with pistols. The twin linked, so you're re-rolling. But if you look at the stratagems, did it say anything about plasma? I don't think it did it? I mean, dragon fire on the plasma is quite dirty, giving them a nose cover. So excluding Dev Wounds weapons is the Hellfire, which is the 2-up anti-inventory and 5-up anti-monster. So could you put... You can put it on both. Okay, I mean, pick whatever you want. Bolters gives you a higher shot output, a similar damage output. Plasma is plasma, it's risk reward. If you can give either of those weapons, especially being twin linked, but sustained hits 2 with 2-up anti-inventory, 5-up anti-monster, that's gross. The one thing that these guys don't get, which is good, like I'm not saying that you should give them this because you're taking 5 guys instead of 3 or 6. But they don't get the fancy deep strike rule where they can drop within. Let's see if I can find it in the book. Yeah, the Interceptor Squad. So you don't get meteoric descent, which I think is incredibly fair with the amount of attacks that this could put out. So you lose your 3-inch deep strike, but you gain access to anti-inventory stuff. Bit of a trade-off, but yeah, I think they're quite nice. Fortis Kill Team, Faction, Mission Tactics, Oath of Moment, as expected. Fortis Doctrines, each time a model in this unit makes an attack that targets an enemy that is below its starting strength, add 1 to the hit roll. If the attack targets a unit that is below half strength, add 1 to the hit roll and 1 to the wound roll instead. Punishing. I think the word is punishing. So, oh god, here we go. Unit composition, 10 models max, 1 sergeant, 2 to 9 intercessors, 0 to 4 intercessors with plasma incinerators, so your hellblasters, 0 to 4 intercessors with heavy bolt pistols. Would that be your assault intercessors? Would you mix them in? Really? We'll look at that. 0 to 4 intercessors with the pyre blasters. Meh, I'm not a big fan of them. Although the amount of damage they would put out is probably quite high. And 0 to 2 intercessors with the super frag rocket launchers. What the hell is a super frag rocket launcher? Is that the Nerf gun, the t-shirt cannons? Is that what they're called? Let's double check. Yeah, that's your Desolation Squad. I've never looked at their rules. I didn't know that's what the guns were called, because the models just look so terrible. Right, so yeah, your super frag launcher, fair enough. That's quite a mix. So your kill team sergeant and every kill team intercessor is equipped with a bolt pistol, a Deathwatch bolt rifle, and a close combat weapon. Plasma intercessor units are equipped with a bolt pistol, plasma intercessor, close combat weapon. Heavy bolt pistol is heavy bolt pistol and chainsword. Pyre blaster is bolt pistol, pyre blaster, close combat weapon. And the intercessor with the super frag rocket launcher is bolt pistol, a Castellan launcher, a super frag rocket launcher, and a close combat weapon. What is a Castellan? That's the indirect fire bit. And does everybody have that? So you can have 2 models that fire indirect fire rockets. How the hell are you going to point these squads up? Jesus, this is insane. This is genuinely, it's mixing all of the weapons for each armor type. This is what Space Marines should be in my mind. Just a mix of weapons. So this is singing to me, but it's also really complicated. Are they ever going to release... how would you even sell a Fortis Kill Team box? You can't. It's a kit basher's dream, but it's bloody expensive. Anyway, let's... characters with a leadership ability, if they can go with an intercessor squad, you can pop them in here nice and easy, that's fine. This is insane. I love this, but this is insane. So what can we actually take? The sergeant can replace his Deathwatch bolt rifle with a chainsword to give him a bolt pistol, a chainsword, and a close combat weapon. A hand flamer, a plasma pistol, or a power weapon. Yeah, I don't know there. Or he can... oh, here we go. Or he can replace his close combat weapon with a chainsaw, a power fist, a power weapon, or a thunder hammer. So your sergeant could have bolt rifle, bolt pistol, and a thunder hammer, or a power weapon, or a power fist. That's cool. So this is Editing Tom, who has just realised the sergeant can replace his Deathwatch bolt rifle with a power weapon, and his close combat weapon with a power fist, a power weapon, or a thunder hammer. So you could have a dual-wielding sergeant. Yes, please. Thank you very much. For every 5 models in the unit, 1 model equipped with a Deathwatch bolt rifle can be equipped with 1 Astartes grenade launcher. That's the Intercessor standard rule. But you don't even have to have 5 Intercessor models. It's just, if you've got a unit of 5, one of your Intercessors can take an Astartes grenade launcher. Okay, cool. 1 model equipped with a plasma incinerator can replace bolt pistol with a plasma pistol, so you can throw in extra plasma. 1 model can replace its Super Frag rocket launcher with a Vengor launcher, and any number of models can replace their Super Frag with Super Crack. So what does all that mean? I would argue that yes, you would switch out a 1 bolt pistol for if you're running your sergeant with a plasma pistol, you'd throw in another plasma pistol, but if not, doesn't make a huge amount of difference to me personally. A Super Frag rocket launcher. So Super Frag is, as you'd expect, it's frag. A Super Crack is crack. So are you switching out extra attacks for strength and damage? The Vengor launcher looks like it has indirect fire. It's slightly better. So you would take a Vengor. 1 model would take a Vengor and 1 model would take a Super Crack, I would think. Oh god, this is ridiculous. So much choice. And actually, for these guys, I would take the Thunder Hammer over the Power Fist on the Sergeant, because you gain access to dev wounds, and yeah, alright, you're hitting on a 4-up instead of a 3-up, but the rest is the same. I don't even know where you'd start with this. I would take a 10-man squad. I'd throw a lieutenant in as well, but I would take a 10-man squad. Oh, you could throw in, oh my god, you could throw in an apothecary with these. Alright, so I'd do an apothecary with a lieutenant, with a sergeant, 4 plasma intercessors. I would then take, that's 5, I've got another 5. The 2 super frags, but switch them out for the relevant. The Vengor and a super crack. And I would round the others out, so it would be 3 normal intercessors with Deathwatch bolt rifles. 1 of them with the grenade launcher. That's a disgusting unit. And an apothecary. So I might be starting 40k again. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even going to go... There's so many weapon choices on here, I'm not even going to go through it. But the Castellan launcher and the Vengor launcher both have indirect fire. You could also have quite a nice unit with a sergeant and some pyre blasters for pushing up the board and just having them hold an objective. You've got a ridiculous amount of strength 5, ignores cover torrent attacks from the pyre blasters. Treat your sergeant to a hand flamer as well, just for a bit of fun. Yeah, there's so many options in there, but this is what I wanted the Primaris Marines to be, not just a rigid, regimented, strict. This is exactly how I wanted them to be. This is perfect. Can you tell I'm liking this? How many more have we got? We've got loads. Right, 2 more kill teams left. So next one, this is the Gravis kill team, the Indomitor. Movement 5, toughness 6, save of 3, 3 wounds, 6 up lead, 1 OC. Faction, mission tactics, and oath of moment. Indomitor doctrines. Each time a model in this unit makes a ranged attack that targets the closest eligible target, or makes a melee attack in a turn in which it made a charge move, improve the strength characteristic of that attack by 2. Wow. They want things dead. So what have we got? 10 models maximum. No sergeant. That can't be right. Do they not have sergeants? Well, it's 3 to 10 heavy intercessors. It's not to 3 heavy intercessors with power fists. And it's not to 3 heavy intercessors with melter rifles. Every heavy intercessor is equipped with bolt pistol, Deathwatch heavy... Oh yeah, of course. The heavy intercessors, yeah. Bolt pistol, Deathwatch heavy bolt rifle, and a close combat weapon. Every heavy intercessor with power fists is equipped with Fragstorm gauntlets and the twin power fists. Very nice. And every heavy intercessor with a melter rifle is equipped with a bolt pistol, a melter rifle, and a close combat weapon. So this is the Gravis Dream Team. For every 5 models in this unit, 1 model can replace its heavy bolt rifle with 1 Deathwatch heavy bolter. 1 model can replace its melter rifle with a multi-melter, and any number of models can have their Flamestorm gauntlets replaced with 1 auto Boltstorm gauntlet and 1 Firestorm grenade launcher. Oh, it's 1 gauntlet, so it's you switch them out for the Boltstorm gauntlets, and then you get okay. And your Gravis captain can join these guys as well, which I love this team as well. This is nasty. So what would you do? You've got three aggressors. You've got 3 eradicators, and then you've got 4 heavy intercessors. So your heavy intercessors, well, you'd have 2 melter rifles with 1 multi-melter. You would have 1 heavy bolter, which gives you lethal hits. You would probably go... I might go Flamestorm gauntlets. Would I? I would be tempted to go Flamestorm gauntlets. I mean, you can mix and match, so I don't think it matters. You could have 3 heavy intercessors with power fists. You could have 1 with Flamestorm gauntlets, 2 with Flamestorm gauntlets, or 3 with Flamestorm gauntlets, or exactly the same with the other. So the Flamestorm gauntlets, 12-inch, D6 plus 1 attacks. They automatically hit, strength 4, 1 damage. And they're twin-linked, torrent and ignores cover. And the auto Boltstorm gauntlets are just twin-linked, but 18-inch range, so slightly more range, 3 attacks, hits on 3, strength 4, no AP, 1 damage. But you would also get the Fragstorm grenade launcher, which is blast, 18-inch again, D6, hits on 3, strength 4, 1 AP. So they have a higher damage output, I would argue. If you just want a big chunky unit in the middle of the board to hold an objective, 3 Fragstorm gauntlets on toughness 6 models with all the other shenanigans that they have. And if you're shooting the closest eligible target, you can add 2 to the strength of either of those. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It's going to chew through whatever's trying to charge them on an Overwatch, because it automatically hits. And if they're charging, they're probably going to be the closest eligible unit. Madness. Absolute madness. I love it. And the Spectrus kill team. Again, Reavers aside, I quite like Phobos models. I'm weird, please forgive me. But abilities, they get Infiltrators and Scout 6-inch, which is really nice. Infiltrators is great as well. Faction Mission Tactics, Oath of Moment, and the Spectrus Doctrines. At the end of your opponent's turn, if this unit... Oh god, really? If this unit is more than 6 inches away from all enemy units, you can remove it from the battlefield and place it into strategic reserves. War gear options. Models in the bearer's unit with a Helix Gauntlet have a 6-up feel no pain. You can take the Infiltrator Comms Array, so each time you target the bearer's unit with a stratagem, roll 1d6. On a 5-up you gain a CP. Or the oh no, this is my favourite because you've got eliminators. Instigate a bolt carbine. In your shooting phase, after the bearer's unit has shot, the bearer's unit can make a normal move. If it does until the end of the turn, the bearer's unit is not eligible to declare a charge. They can fire and fade. Let's see how this all breaks down, shall we? 10 models maximum, 3 to 10 infiltrators, 0 to 3 infiltrators with bolt sniper rifles, 0 to 4 infiltrators with Deathwatch Oculus bolt carbines, and 0 to 4 infiltrators with combat knives. So that's 1 of each of the Phobos. Every kill team infiltrator is equipped with a bolt pistol, a Deathwatch marksman bolt carbine, and a close combat weapon. Every kill team infiltrator with bolt sniper rifle is equipped with a bolt pistol, bolt sniper rifle, and a close combat weapon. Every infiltrator with Deathwatch Oculus bolt carbine is equipped with bolt pistol, Oculus bolt carbine, and paired blades. And every infiltrator with a combat knife is equipped with a special issue bolt pistol and a combat knife. Right, so what can we actually do with this? If a character from your army with the leadership ability can be attached to an infiltrator squad, can be attached to this unit instead, so that's your Phobos Lieutenant, Phobos Librarian, oh god, and the Phobos Captain. If this unit has a leader unit attached to it during the declare battle formation setup, that leader unit gains infiltrators and scout 6-inch abilities. So the librarian then, throw him in as well. That's one hell of a horrible unit to fight. War gear options. One model equipped with a Deathwatch Marksman Bolt Carbine can be equipped with one of the following: the Helix Gauntlet or the Infiltrator Comms Array. So it's either the 5-up gain SCP per stratagem you throw on them, or the 6-up Feel No Pain. I'd probably go with a 6-up Feel No Pain. But again, I don't know if there is really a right option with this. One model can replace its Bolt Sniper Rifle with the Instigator Carbine. I would probably say do that. Any number of models can replace their Bolt Sniper Rifle with one Las Fusel. Oh, so instead of doing the Fire and Fade Bolt Carbine, you could just have 3 Las Fusels. Does it tell you the stats of the Las Fusel? Yeah, so the Bolt Sniper Rifle is heavy precision, 36-inch, 1 attack, hits on 2s, 5 strength, -2 AP, 3 damage. Or you could just take a mini las cannon, which is heavy, so you'd lose precision, but you'd gain strength of 9 instead of 5, -3 AP, and D6 damage. So it's just harder hitting, which could be fun. The Instigator Carbine is heavy? Is it? I mean, all heavy means is if you stay still, you knock one off your ballistic skill, so you're potentially hitting on 2s with each of those. 24-inch range, 3 up, strength 4, -2 AP, 2 damage. The carbine is quite nice. And in a bigger unit, what would you be running? So you would have 3 with sniper rifles, so you could have 1 carbine and 2 las fusels, 1 carbine and 2 But the Deathwatch Bolt Carbine, lethal hits precision. So you've already got a lot of precision options. The special issue bolt pistol is precision as well. Lots of cool options. That's what I'll say, very cool options. Las Fusels. Any number of models can replace their combat knife with 1 Deathwatch Bolt Carbine and 1 close combat weapon. Replace their combat knife, so they will always keep the special issue bolt pistol. Reavers will always keep the special issue bolt pistol, which is a bit of a beast. Okay. And what about... You saw about the combat knife for a carbine and a close combat weapon. So the combat knife has precision, 4 attacks, -1 AP compared to the normal close combat weapon. So it's 1 less attack and it's 1 less AP, but the damage is still the same and it's not precision. Paired combat blades, a sustained hits 1, 3 attacks, hits on 3s, strength 4, -1 AP, 1 damage. But you would gain the Bolt Carbine, which gives you lethal hits and precision. Again, I suppose it depends how you want to use this unit. You can just pick and choose any of the Phobos stuff and throw them in. I would argue you might want to specialise this one. I think there's a good shout for 4 Reavers, 3 Snipers, and filling the rest out with Infiltrators. You give Infiltrators have the Deathwatch Carbine. So you give 1 Infiltrator, so you have 4 Infiltrators. One of them has the Helix Gauntlet to give you a 6-up Feel No Pain. Your Reavers, you switch out and you have 4 with the carbine, and they've still got their special issue pistols for precision at close range when they're fighting and they can shoot in combat. And then you take 2 probably las fusels and the Instigator Bolt Carbine to give you Infiltrators, 6-inch scout. You can move after the unit has shot, and at the end of your opponent's turn, if the unit is more than 6 inches away from all enemies, you can go back into strategic reserves. So there's a lot of movement shenanigans with that one unit. It's a big block of 10, and then otherwise, if you're not that bothered about the snipers, I don't know, I think that's the unit where you only run a big unit of 10 if you actually want snipers in there. Sniper rifles. If you don't, I'd say stick with 5s. And I'd argue that Reavers maybe aren't that bad. And I never thought I'd say that. But what you do lose with this, Reaver's Terror ability, which isn't that much of a big loss to be honest. You lose the Incursor's Multispectrum Array, which means you can add 1 to hit rolls after this unit has attacked for anybody else that shoots that unit that was attacked. You don't get the Haywire Mine, and you also lose the Omni Scramblers. Reserves cannot be set up within 12 inches of this unit. So there is actually quite a trade-off with these. Just out of interest, did the Eliminators have a fancy rule? There's this Deathwatch is very much, the advantage is being able to mix your units together. The disadvantage is you're losing a lot of what the units specialize in. So you lose with the Eliminators, you keep the Instigator, which is nice. But you lose if the unit remains stationary until the start of your next movement phase. Ranged weapons equipped by the models in this unit have dev wounds. So you lose dev wounds. You do actually lose quite a lot here. Thinking about it, the Fortis with the Hellblasters, you lose their ability to shoot on death. So there is actually quite a lot of trade-off here, isn't there? For taking mixed units across all of them. I love the idea of just having mixed units. I love the modelling challenge of having mixed units. But you do actually lose quite a lot. You gain stuff, you gain the doctrines, you do lose a lot of the individual units, which makes sense. I'm okay with that. I don't think that you should mix and match and you get everything. That's far too strong. I think the way you balance this out is you give them all of the weapons, but you take away the special abilities for the units. And then we've got the Deathwatch Armoury, which gives you the rest of the stuff. So the Vengor is indirect fire. The grenade launcher allows you to just pop a crack grenade. Strength 10 on the super crack is quite nice. Points wise, the Corvus Blackstar is 180 points. I don't think that's too bad. The Terminator's 5 models, 180, 10 models, 360. Yeah. Oh, that's cheeky. So each of your kill teams, the quote-unquote Primaris kill teams, are 10-man units. You are locked into 10-man units. So your Fortis is 10-man, 200 points. Your Talonstrike, which is the jump pack dudes, is 290 points. Sounds fair. Your Gravis kill team, again 10 models, 270 points. And then your Phobos is the same as the normal troops, 10 models, 200 points. Artemis is 65, which is about lieutenant level, and Watchmaster is 105. We looked at, it was so long ago since we looked at the Watchmaster. Is 105 expensive for him? He's pretty good though, isn't he? Because he reduces the CP cost of a stratagem for the unit that he's tagged onto, and you can shoot and charge if you advance or fall back. Yeah, 105 sounds a bit much, but then it's probably fair. And I'm just running off old points. And your veterans is 5 models. It's the same price as the Fortis and the Spectrus kill teams. Basically 5 models, 100 points, and 10 models, 200 points, but you can split them into a 5-man or a 10-man squad. And then the detachments, I'll run through these for the enhancements. The Beacon Angelis, 25 points, sounds fair. The Osseous Key, 15 points, again sounds fair. Tome of Ectoclades, 30 points, that's your double Oath of Moment. Yeah, 30 points, that's more than fair. And the Thief of Secrets is 25 points, they all sound about. They all sound fair, I don't think you can argue with those. I think the points of these is pretty good. Yeah, I don't know, looking at, just a quick look at what the general Codex Space Marines have. I think the points are fair. I was going to say maybe, well, all the Terminators are 180 for a squad of 5 now, aren't they? Deathwatch Veterans, 100 points, 5 models, but you can have 2 models with 4-up invul and 2 models with Thunderhammers that slap. I think that's fair. The only one that's expensive is the Talonstrike, I think. But then how many Gravis dudes could you have in that? 5 of the Gravis dudes. You don't get your 3-inch drop, but you do get a lot of firepower. And every time they drop in, they get Lance on melee and +1 AP. Oh, it's tough. Taking aside my excitement for the mixed units, and this is how I think Space Marines should play, personally, I think there's some good stuff, but it's counteracted by losing ability rules. And each one gets their own abilities, but they're different abilities. And not being able to deny... And okay, they're cheaper point-for-point model. 10 Spectrus kill teams, which has arguably better weapons, to 10 of the... whichever ones do the Deep Strike Ignore. Mind you, they are... I mean, how much are Reavers? Maybe they are overpriced. A squad of 5 Reavers is 75 points, but they don't get the 6-up Feel No Pain, or the Instigator Bolt Carbine. Yeah, 3 Eliminators is about 75 points nowadays. 85 points now. The Incursors are 80, but the Infiltrators are 100. The Infiltrators give you your extra 3-inch on the Deep Strike, but you don't get that here. Maybe the Spectrus kill team is overpriced. The Fortis kill team is probably fair. But then you've not got your Plasma Inceptor shoot. Oh. But you do have your stupid t-shirt cannons. This is tough. I think the Talonstrike for a 10-man unit with 5 of the Gravis is probably... and overall it would be a toughness 6 unit. I think it's probably fair, even though you don't get your 3-inch meteoric descent. I think the Indomitor one is pretty juicy. At 270? Yeah, 10 Gravis Marines, 270. I mean, is it? Is it? I have just noticed there's no suppressors in these squads either, which I'm sure everybody is crying out about. So aggressor squads for 3 is 120, but they get their close quarters, improve the armor pen by 1. To be fair, the +2 to the strength is better. Yeah, okay, so the Gravis kill team is probably very good value. Fortis kill team for everything that you lose, which is probably really only battle line that you care about. You lose sticky objectives, and you lose reroll wound rolls of 1 in melee, or if that enemy is on an objective marker, reroll the full wound roll. I don't know if I'd take Assault Intercessors in this team anyway. They lose the shoot on death and whatever the nerf guns had. But they do gain, if it's below starting strength, add 1 to the hit roll. And if it's below half strength, add 1 to the hit roll, add 1 to the wound roll for everything in there, which might be a fair trade-off. Everybody having Scout and Infiltrators and the return to strategic reserves is quite, and the 6-up Feel No Pain if you take the Helix Gauntlet is quite nice. And the bullet, because you would, at this point, you wouldn't just take 10 Infiltrators in that unit. You would at least take 1, I think, you would at least take 1 with the sniper rifles and switch that out for the bolt carbine for your extra move and your shoot phase. Yes. It's tough. It's tough, but I think the Spectrus kill team is probably about right. Yeah. The Terminators are in a really rough place. Like, Terminators, since Gravis came out, Terminators are just not brilliant, and their weapons are not good. You can do some really cool things with Terminators, and the chapter-specific Terminator stuff is really nice. Deathwing Knights are incredible, I think, but they're much more than 180 points for 5. But I don't know how you fix Terminators in this edition, is what I'm saying. Everything else seems fair. The Watchmaster, I would probably say, is pricey, but I think that you would take him with a blob of 10 veterans just to be able to do stuff, and obviously stick an attachment on him. Yeah, I think overall this isn't a bad index. You still have Oath of Moment, and you get a variety of options. There's only 3, so there's going to be 2 turns of nothing. And the stratagems are situational but pretty good. they're definitely all about just dropping in and doing damage, and the trade-off is your units might not be the most survivable. They've got a few little survivable things built into each unit, but the idea is you just outshoot or outfight your opponent as fast as possible. I think. Very much guerrilla style, hit and run. That's what Deathwatch do. I think it sounds and it reads like this is how Deathwatch would play if you had a load of them. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'm on the fence. I like it, but do I like it because I just like Deathwatch and I'm happy they're back? Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.